Hey, Ronald Easter here. You know me, the bartender that's always late to the party because he decides to take a job after everybody else is already an hour deep into their careers. I can't keep up with anybody, especially when you change the way I see the world. How dare whoever's in charge fuck with how I look through piles. Struggle was a gap bridged by holding shift, then it was back to knowing the amount of double rat kebabs in a stack at any given moment. My lack of understanding brought me to a pawn shop. I'm guessing their inventory is mostly stolen goods, yet this hole-in-the-wall operation feels about as secretive as a drive-through brothel. Since I just discovered those existed, I figured I should buy a chainsaw and castrate myself in order to save money. How much for that chainsaw?
$2.50.
Let me check my wallet.
Sure.
I didn't have a wallet or any idea how to get credits. I'm merely a hallway bum drifting from tile to tile. At least I wasn't the only one looking homeless. Yeah, this guy was dressed sharper than me, but he appeared more vulnerably dumb. So I was gonna steal his shield until I realized he could talk. The next time I saw him was around the cargo bounty machine. I had heard this is where you make money. You're given credits for completing various weird tasks such as shoving 20 pins up the HLP's ass or whatever your heart desires. Just make sure there's a victim. This way of thinking had opened up a new bounty for me. After a bit of hesitation, I grabbed this guy's grand worth of money cube and ran off. He may have been slow to collect his earnings from the machine, but he sure got on my ass fast. This Roman Robocop was locked in on the payday stashed away in my bag. Little did he know I loved being chased. What a chest-tightening rush. Oh, and I'd probably use the money for a better reason than him, such as buying 4 chainsaws. Before I could make my purchase, I needed to disappear from this guy's life. I was able to keep away from beating distance while coughing up 6 lungs, yet I still couldn't lose him. Sorry, I'm always starting rivalries. I gotta make a common enemy to get along with my boredom. Otherwise, I'd be running around just like I am now, only alone and bored. During the chase, I went into my internal settings and toggled all my reflexes, allowing me to grab the wooden shield this prick kept tossing about like a clunky one-way boomerang. I held onto his shield and tried to use a toolbox as a grenade, but he caught it. No tool explosion though. We're responsible with our latches in space. However, we do forget to shut doors because, don't worry, they'll eventually shut themselves. Thus, an opening into maintenance provided me with an escape. Given my bartender access status, I had to wait in the darkness until someone opened a door. Of course, that capitalist shark was the first person to show up. He has a telepathic bond with his money. The sucker had me cornered briefly before slipping right back into the euphoric chase. The nerve-wracking excitement that tingles throughout my inexperienced body is signaling that I need to go outside more, which is why I stepped into space. Okay, I really wanted to see if he'd follow me out there, but he didn't. I guess he truly isn't about his money. Nah, I'm sure he somehow got it back one way or another. Regardless, I saw a floating cop funeral, bounce back for the quick tease, then launch myself towards the void. My voyage ended with the choice of being a scientist or an engineer. No option for assistant. Picking a productive role was mandatory, so I went with scientist. As a man of science, I was down to abuse other people's work, like anyone who's ever used a mod before. Though I couldn't get the ammo for the blue space wormhole projector installed, I tried using this artificial blue space crystal and got no success. It sounded like the right type of ammo. The name matched and crystals harness energy according to sci-fi and hippie logic. Knowing these facts wasn't enough to give me a portal gun, which resulted in that crystal becoming paperweight. Same goes for this piece of metal I only know as a potentially fancy way to cause blunt force trauma. I didn't want to be reduced to cracking heads. I'd rather break my knuckles from turning too many pages, so I put on a gas mask and went to the library. It didn't take long for me to remember how much reading sucks. Sentences are all the same, and the type of people you'll attract are bookworms who just want to debate about moths eating cloths. Meanwhile, action you could actually see and enjoy was happening right outside. There was a gorilla fighting for its life against improvised poachers. The tourist entered Ape's land and killed him. Then the wife or son came for revenge. Clearly, if there's 2 of them, then the gorillas have to be evil. Right? All of double trouble. This theory brought me back to the human side. After witnessing that miracle, I had to say grace. Show me Jesus. Nah. Show me what it means to be larger than... No. Show me what it means to be tough. Yeah, there you go. Good Lord, praise be, I'm the Virgin Mary, and God is going to show me what it means to be tough by making me a blob for my first time ever, at least from what I can recall. I then proceeded to drop my blobby core in that conference room nobody uses. Hidden somewhere in the depths of maintenance would have been a better spot. Nevertheless, I gotta call this place home and hope nobody sees that I'm trying to cook enough meth to rot a space station. My first and greatest accomplishment was building a factory-sized hole to create a bodyguard known as a blobbernaut. We were able to expand our land a bit further before being spotted by the locals. I continued to micromanage expansion to at least try and look busy, though the Blobbernaut was carrying the heavier load for the team by playing goalie. For real, phenomenal defense. This broad shoulder wall that crawled out of me kept all of the threats at bay while I attempted to grow. That makes me a fat mother with a tough son, meaning I'm living my answered prayer vicariously through my child. Those freaks that love picking scabs were attacking me from every angle, yet old Blobber Boy continued to push them off my outskirts. Then a wave of radiation covered me up, granting a break from the raid. Once the storm cleared up, my exterior insides were exposed again. Returning to getting destroyed came with restricted movement. It took a whole message to an admin to provide my escape. In my getaway, lasers were cutting me thin, like future obesity treatment protocols. Still, that wonderful Blobbernaut was protecting my core far better than a thick gut ever could. The crew pulled all the stops to get rid of me. Everything from fuel tank bombs to emitter lasers to even bigger bombs. Pissed off the AI too.
Jesus Christ, what the fuck, humans? Blob is not dead.
Those beams were getting awfully close to taking me out, but on the bright side, the hole in the station could be a tactical advantage. The best advantage would be a whole army of Blobbernauts. Luckily, I was finally able to make another one to solidify our evil organization. Almost immediately after, I got sniped by a laser. Makes sense. Shit was starting to go my way, and I should have moved my blob core. Like I said earlier, I was a first-timer. I didn't even know I could smack bitches around until towards the end of my reign. I had left behind 2 former studs to wither away in this dry world. It looks like they retained their veins en masse. I think they just lost their color and ability to heal because one of them whooped the captain's ass right into a portal. The other unfortunately perished to an experimental welding tool. It wasn't even lit, poor bastard. Then a cat became the center of attention for the will of Ghost, and the Blobbernaut that fought its way into that portal had survived. These two had teamed up, hopefully to kill everybody. I wished them the largest of body counts, but I didn't see the cat's mission through. Instead, I was ready to dominate in the infamous Knife Fight City with my chainsaw hand. As many of you may know, this attachment is an heirloom that's been in my family for generations. I didn't want my family's pride to become a dusty trophy. It needed to pull its own weight, which led to my chainsaw swearing it thought it saw the monkey waving a knife around. Usually, destroying Pun Pun is a surefire way to get the bartender mad at you. However, this cool guy understood the knife fighting rules of the city. Well, lack of fellow stabbers promoted antisocial behavior, such as crafting a glass cube to scare off the light. Since I was selfish and only cared about myself, I went to the doctors. In medbay, I found out I had the nicotine shakes. I had to satisfy my burden. Free cigars were on display, and a little shocky window is all that stands in my way. Oh, and security. The officer that arrested me claimed I committed a B&E. I argued that I didn't enter. Still, no minutes were taken off my lockup time. What did shorten my sentence was a cult, the pinnacle of a chaplain's importance. All I had to do was bless water to get out of jail, and I got $500, cigar money. Felt like a true VIP as I watched the window lover who arrested me yell out for someone to let him out of the armory. Many passed him by before his undeserving release. Then I wanted in the armory. Asked the warden for a gun, and he was cool with it. Glad he wasn't being stingy. After grabbing more than a gun, I found a Colt sword right on Sec's front porch. Thought I was coming across some new information until I saw all the others. Like anytime you think you have a unique idea, you unoriginal cunt. Later on, while I was searching for cultists to cut apart, the deputy of science wanted to conduct a random search on me. Now, I had heard that the cult was setting up in science. That's why I was there. So I was under the impression that this cocksucker was a cultist trying to kill me, though I wasn't totally sure what his religion was, hence me just leaving him handcuffed. Actual cultists crept in the dark, waiting for the sacrifices to come to them. What put me away though wasn't the cult, it was the halfway cultist that I left handcuffed. I was now the one restrained, and crying for help may have been my last hope. A nearby space carp heard my plea and chipped in for my bell, but quickly pulled out once he realized his mistake. While being detained, the officer finally got to strip search me. The sexual assault was brought to a halt when my lifetime Secret Service Blobbernaut duo came through for a rescue. Fucking Borgs. One of those goody roll shoes turned me into that security guard. As soon as this man woke up from his near-death nap, he locked right back onto me. The sort of nice guy took me onto the shuttle, uncuffed me, and gave me all my gear back except for the laser gun. He said it was too dangerous. Well, here I am surviving on the emergency shuttle. So cult defeated, or at least avoided. Next, surprise! I'm the bartender again. Welcome to my default state of being. This going through the motions functionality involves building some garbage and hoping it summons interesting characters. Here we have this generic excuse of a rage cage known as a counter-fighting pit. The show began with an entrance from a shirtless beret-wearing wrestler who tossed bar stools into the ring. Bar Brawl 91 opened with a bar stool match between Sergeant Beret and superstar Janitor Rogers. Beret won by ring out and celebrated with food. The Beret fighter then went on to whoop another ass, some John Doe jobber in an apron who got beat twice in bare-knuckle brawls, proving that Beret can get it done no matter the circumstance. Once the Beret got fully naked, their name changed to the Champ. The next two opponents to face off was a Clown and Chef, an everyday matchup that can go either way. In this instance, the Clown came out on top. All of that built up two experienced fighters, that Clown and the Champ. These barroom gladiators put on some official boxing gloves, and the Champ made the Clown forfeit. During the Champ's next bout, he was fighting against the Chef and decided to include the Monkey too. Bad idea. This Monkey swiped my baseball bat and beat the championship out of this naked has-been. In the end though, the Monkey got disposed of properly. A banana memorial service was held by me. I was gifted a shitload of bananas and I just figured out you could snatch that pill off without eating the slimy fruit. Something else new to me was the machine that produces customer bots. I had to give the tea drinker model the basic whack test, and the results were inconclusive because he hit me back harder. My hypothesis is these robots only attack if you're in the way of their drinks, because elementary melee does not cause them enough pain to retaliate. Also, I don't think they have unionized yet, since the other bot that came out wasn't trying to kill me for his friend. I may have been a little terrified of technology, still I trusted Meta Bot to heal me. Who gives a shit if there's exclamation points in my bones? I left Medbay with a new helmet. On my walk to the bar, a scuba troll began baiting me with rubber slaps. Things escalated from a toy sword to a real baseball bat to pepper spray. Almost lost my bat to that rascal. Thankfully, beanbags from a shotgun were around to save the fine wood. The random rival used his turn in the game of mutual hate to disassemble my creation. Yep, another enemy was made. I can't believe it. My gun slipped out of my grasp too. That's more believable. My shift as a fight promoter ended with yet another arrest. Don't really understand why. Guess I let my joint get too rowdy. I got sentenced to do community service as an assistant. Yeah, for sure used that as an excuse for round connection before, but it's just a bullshit YouTube series, so I'll do that. I've given up gag for the last round. There was a fucking dragon. Rage Cage 2. Clown and Captain fought because they wanted to suck dick. There's a picture of their combined mother. Then I got picked on.
Nice haircut. Where'd you get it?
Jerk stud.
My grandmama cut it for me.
Grandmama's a loser.
His harsh words got me to run into a fence. Ah! I'm a loser. Damn it. A proud loser.
Did Grandmama also teach you how to fight? And how to run into electrical grids?
Duh! Yeah, I saw myself too. Welcome to the Twilight Zone. So, it is very trippy. Wanna help me kill the captain? Are you a tot? No. Then I can't help. The cap called me a loser. Based. I need help getting revenge. Come on. You look just like me. I know. But, I have my own set of people to murder. You dig? Alright, copycat. Ciao. Like majority of the scenes I include, that conversation has nothing to do with the rest of the story. I cared more about watching the clown fuck the captain. The masked funny performed well, too, even though the captain was a no-good cheater. I beat him like Tony Soprano. I'm such a bad dude. Yeah, remember that dragon? He's more important now than you thought. He fought in that rage cage, and his fire breath reached all the way to the front row. That means me. I've still given up. In game 2. This is what I do when I want to log out with a bang. Sons of bitches wouldn't let me suicide by electrical fence. I was going down with a fight. I had to keep hustling. Instead, I was enticed by the free-for-all happening around me. Goddamn medbay again. It's hard to carry on when somebody loves you. Another visit to the dragon's lair should do tricks. Nearly died in that fire, like I would have wanted, but somebody saved me and left my ass to live on a table. After many attempts, my death finally came in the rage cage at the hands of a professional who understood my message. Merry Christmas. banana memorial service.